Hello. I thought I would tell you guys a story of how I cured my long-standing systemic inflammation that I had for 20 years. Um, a little backstory, I became vegetarian at age 18. Felt amazing not eating the meat at that age. I can really tell the difference because I was racing motocross, I was playing the drums, real hardcore, working out, just when I quit eating meat, I felt amazing, and I always wanted to learn more. Just found out dairy's bad. Okay, quit the dairy. I got rid of starch and bread and all that stuff early on in life. Was feeling fantastic, but about 20 years ago, I started developing this condition whereby one foot or maybe an ankle, maybe a knee would swell up out of the blue, out of nothing. Hadn't had anything like that in months, and all of a sudden it was there, and it was debilitating. I was not able to walk when this was happening. It was really weird. Just came out of nowhere. Tried to get like a medical diagnosis. They just called it migratory arthritis, which to me was kind of a non-diagnosis. I lived with it off and on, for all these years. It wasn't about the joint. It was about the system, and I knew that. I could tell that because the joints were healthy. Just all of a sudden, I would get this out of nowhere. Um, so I lived with it for all these years, and finally, I got hold of a book. It was called The Autoimmune Solution, written by a lady doctor in Texas who had Crohn's disease. And she became a vegetarian at age 14 and was eating all the kind of Franken foods, the soy-based meat substitutes, and a lot of starch and bread and stuff like that. So she developed Crohn's disease, which is another autoimmune condition, and whereby the body eats itself. So part of her intestines were taken out by doctors because they were diseased by this condition, and she was put on drugs, but couldn't stay on these drugs because the side effects were so bad. She thought there must be a better way, and somehow she figured out that it was the nuts, seeds, beans, and grains that are causing this. These things are all seeds, so like the wheat, the seed head is a grass seed basically. So all nuts, seeds, and beans are seeds, and as such, they don't want animals to digest them. They want an animal to eat them, which is why the seed is often presented with a tasty fruit for the animal to eat, and then the plant's strategy is for the animal to poop out that seed and spread them. So they don't want to be digested, so they coat these seeds with saponins, lectins, collectively known as phytochemicals, anti-nutrients really. And in us, they have this property of causing runaway inflammation in some people who are susceptible. It turns out, though, even if you don't have that sort of clinical reaction to it, measurable reaction to it, it can still be causing inflammation on a low grade. And now it's being widely discovered that cancer, heart disease, a lot of our killer diseases have inflammation at their center. So inflammation's a pretty big deal. So in the book, she tells about how she quit the nuts, seeds, grains, and beans, but eggs and dairy are also highly pro-inflammatory, so you can't have those either if you have this condition. And of course, for your health, it's better not to have those anyway. So she tells a story about how she decided she would have to eat meat and started eating meat, choking it down, hating it. But in a short time, she liked it because, our minds are that strong. We don't like things just because we're genetically predisposed to like something. We decide we like it, so we like it. And she decided to like meat, so she liked meat. But I decided I'm not doing that. I had been vegetarian way too long, read way too much about how bad meat is for you. We don't need all that protein. It really works to our detriment. Um, so I thought I'm not doing that, but I can quit the nuts, seeds, no problem. I didn't do grains or beans at the time. But I was doing a lot of nut milks that I was making. I actually wrote a book about age reversal and put all these recipes for nut and seed milks in there. I was pretty into them, but I thought I can quit. Leave me with fruits and vegetables. Nothing wrong with that. So, except maybe I wouldn't get enough protein, but turns out that's not a concern. It's not about the heavy proteins that we need. We don't. And too much protein causes a lot of problems in your body, one of which is osteoporosis. Anyway, I started feeling amazing on just the vegetables and a little bit of fruit, and cured the systemic inflammation. It's gone now just by doing that. So I thought maybe I'd share that, and you guys might be able to use it. So anyway, happy trails.